And just a friendly reminder, if you are looking for science-based powerlifting programming, look no further than the Team Roar training app. You can find the link to it in the episode description and also get 25% off of your first month using discount code all capital PL Ballads podcast. Happy training.
Welcome to episode 216. How are you, Josh?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good.
Awesome. You just had a birthday.
I did. It's crazy. We're all getting older.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I didn't do it. The podcast posted it.
Oh, it wasn't you. You had nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it.
Hmm.
But this the word is you haven't seen it, so I will describe it to you because it was on the Instagram and Facebook story, so they're gone now. So I will describe it to you what was
Okay.
posted. So it starts out with the picture of you, myself, and Hope from the party that we had way back when, where we were dressed up in the
Hmm.
theme of the party was hip hop and powerlifting. So I believe you were wearing a gold chain with the money sign,
Mm-hmm.
a singlet, a belt, some knee sleeves.
Hmm.
I was in a bench shirt. Hope was in a squat suit.
Yep.
Anyway,
I remember this.
that's the first part of the. It was like a little short video. It says "Happy Birthday, Lara," and then it's the video zooms in just on you, and it slowly starts typing and it says, and I quote, this is right under the happy birthday. It says, and I quote, "You are the best co host that is also a beekeeper of a powerlifting podcast that also talks about 80s rock that I have ever seen."
I mean, you could also say I'm the worst one. Well, no, that would be you.
Right.
Wait, you're not a
But
beekeeper, though.
I'm not a beekeeper.
Well, right now I'm not much of one either. It's it's hard to do beekeeping remotely.
Yeah, I was just
From
gonna
across the,
say,
yeah. Little tricky there, but so do you know what I did on my birthday?
what
Because
did you do?
you know, people do things that they really like doing. We climbed up to 10,000 feet on Mount Shasta, um,
Nice.
which was super cool. And we kind of did it as a test to see like, okay, could we actually do this? We've been putting on a day pack, so we get a little weight on our backs, got a good amount of water in there. God, water's heavy. And hiking up this mountain, and at about a mile and a half, it's pretty easy. At about two and a half, it's, a little spicier. And right about that 3 mile mark, it just went straight the fuck uphill. And then we hit the snow patch and we kept losing the trail. And then we finally like, okay, well, that's where we need to go. Like right there, there's that big rock. We're just going to navigate towards that. And we were, basically climbing up the side of a mountain with crampons on and poles. And it wasn't super icy or dangerous or anything crazy. It was almost like slushy. So you kind of needed the crampons just to stay in contact. Icy is more dangerous. And we weren't super, super like high up on the steep slope. But the funnest part was getting to sled down because when you climb up, that's part of the payoff that you get to sled down. Um, and usually you do it with an ice axe to stop your descent. It really wasn't needed because it was so slushy, but we got to do some sledding using our butts as the sled. Um, and you just slide down like 1,000 feet pretty
That's
quickly.
awesome.
It was so much fun.
Did you spray Clark Griswold's whatever on the bottom? What is it?
Yeah, yeah, the ultra slick stuff. So you go,
Yeah,
pshoo. Yeah,
exactly.
no, my butt was enough. But you get so wet and so cold. The snow is pretty damn cold, of course, on your butt. With a piece of cloth in between. And yeah, so you lose a little bit of feeling in your rear end and you get really wet. But it was actually really hot up there, even though there was snow. Um, so it was nice. But it was a blast. It was really hard. But it made us go, okay, I think we could actually climb this thing. So we're hoping to either climb Shastina, which is like 12,100, I think, which is next to Shasta, or Shasta itself. But we might rather take a guide because it's still a 14,000 hike. We'd still have to camp out. So we're trying to figure that out because we don't have any camping gear with us.
I
And
mean,
it's,
that's a long way walking a straight line on flat surface
yeah, that's true. This is
for a
not
power
flat.
lifter.
Yeah, yeah, for a power lifter. And there's sometimes where like, on all trails is pretty good. Like you can like look at your map and it shows you, here's the way up, here's the way down, on the actual map. And you can kind of put your pin and then see what the grade is along the way. And there's places where it hits, 57, 73. I mean, it gets pretty vertical that vertical for very short periods, but that last bit that we did, it took us like, um, I don't know, 2 hours to go the last half mile. It was just ridiculous, but it was super fun.
See, 2 hours, half mile. I'm converting it to like walking on a track. Half mile, 2 hours. That's about right.
Yeah, that's about what you do.
Perfect. That's about what I do.
Yeah. Well, and I have my watch on, and it's like, you have walked 5 miles, and the last 1 mile, you averaged 0.04 miles per hour. I'm like, shut up. I know I'm slow. And then it's like telling me things like, oh, your altitude is suddenly gaining. You should be careful. And I'm like, "Well, no shit. Thanks, thanks, obvious."
Yeah.
And then, yesterday it was told me, lately your training load is excessive. Stop it. I'm like, okay, this is part of having fun and doing things. And I'm in better shape now than I was 30 years ago. So
Yeah, that's good.
old age is all right so far.
Yep. So far.
So anyway, let's move on to powerlifting.
All right. What's going on in the powerlifting world?
I don't know, but the notes here are telling me things. A Georgia High School State Championship was this past weekend.
It was. And we're not going to go through the whole results, but we'll just list the best lifters. Devon Greaves from some high school. It wasn't on the high school wasn't listed on the results, so I don't know where he's from.
Hmm.
Was the best male lifter, and the best female lifter was Harley Bishop from Madison County High School. So congrats to those two.
Nice.
Hopefully we'll see them at high school nationals or collegiate nationals soon.
Awesome. Uh, s- and there's like 5 upcoming meets in Georgia. So,
Yeah,
uh,
I don't remember how many we've mentioned and how many we haven't, so
yeah.
figured we'll just list them all real quick.
Okay. So on August 9th, we have USA Powerlifting's Forge Classic, and that's in Alpharetta, Georgia.
And I'll say with that one, Team Roar is sponsoring that one, so there is we're not the meet directors or anything like that. Joel Chong is the meet director. But anyway, when you sign up, you can get a discount code for our training app. So you can follow our training app and follow a pretty solid program leading into that meet. One of the programs on there is the one you won Masters Worlds with. So any equipped lifters doing it could follow that one.
Nice. And then in September 13th, we have USA Powerlifting's Lifting the House in Ringgold, Georgia. And October 18th and 19th is USA Powerlifting's Southeast Regionals. That's in Florence, South Carolina. There's 207 lifters already.
Yeah, so finally, the people are starting to register for that. I know that's not a Georgia meet, but wanted to mention it because it's kind of Georgia because it's Southeast Regionals. It's a big one.
Mm,
But yeah, like couple weeks ago, there was only like barely 100 lifters signed up, so people are finally starting to sign up for it. But I still predict it's going to sell out before the registration deadline. So if you do plan to lift at regionals, I would suggest you get your butt signed up sooner than later.
right. And at this point, you'd probably know if you're lifting in it or not.
Yeah.
So, or you should.
Yep.
And then on November 1st, we have USA Powerlifting Ladies of Power in Smyrna, Georgia.
Smyrna, that's how you pronounce it too.
Yes, Smyrna. It's fun to say. And in February, the 14th and 15th is USA Powerlifting's Georgia State Championships in Dalton, Georgia.
Yep. So they just added that one to the calendar recently, so I wanted to mention it. So that is the Georgia meet, the big one. And
Yeah.
then the other one, it just got added to the calendar. Obviously, Equip Nationals is next weekend, so we'll be heading out to that. But the Masters Nationals and Raw Nationals just got added to the calendar for next year too. So uh, the June 10th and 11th is the Masters Nationals, which is Raw and Equipped, and that's in Lombard, Illinois. And then June 12th, 13th, 14th is Raw Nationals in Lombard, Illinois. So that's basically Chicago,
Basically. Yeah.
basically. Yep.
Right. Close enough.
Yep.
Awesome.
So
Yeah. So yeah, this next little topic I think is kind of fun and juicy.
yeah, so USA Powerlifting has been posting just like they're calling it true to the mission. Uh Basically information about how we drug test and why we drug test the way we do and why it's important and things like that. And of course there was a counter post from PA.
PA being Powerlifting America.
Yeah.
Pa.
Pa. So anyway, the first post on June 20th from USAPL was basically just kind of just like saying because I think the narrative out there is that you know WADA is the WADA is the way,
Mm,
and they're the best, whatever. But it was just a little post, and I'm summarizing some of this, but it says while the world watches, WADA defend the 23 Chinese swimmers. USA Powerlifting stands firm. No excuses, no secrecy, no compromise. We are the standard. Basically, just saying like uh, you know, USA Powerlifting is drug testing at all levels. All the tests are transparent. If you fail, you fail. And we talked about this earlier. The 23 Chinese swimmers that had failed and were basically not
yeah.
given any suspension and allowed to compete in the Olympics. Multiple of those ended up medaling at the most recent Olympics. So it's just like if you're gonna test and you're going to enforce the drug test results, you have to do it across the board for everybody, not just who you
Right.
choose. So anyway, that was that. And the next one USAPL posted on July 8th, just saying like transparency matters. Talking again about the WADA lack of transparency. Um, and it also said like, so who's really testing and who's just pretending, kind of like saying like obviously, you know, it's a little bit of a shot, I think. Like, who's actually testing and who's just saying they're, quote unquote water compliant. And then 2 days later, PA came out with a post and it says, PA does zero drug testing was the title of it. And then it says, why not? And it's because it says our anti-doping program is run 100% independently by USADA. No testing is done by PA officials, which, again, I think that's a little bit of a shot back saying like they don't test
Right.
their
They don't
athletes.
personally test. They let somebody
Right,
else, a third
right,
party,
right, right,
do
right.
it. So,
And then and being objective, like there are pros to that concept, right? Like,
mhm.
yes, conflicts of interest can arise, and one of I think that I don't have it written down in front of me, but it said something about coaches don't test their athletes, friends don't test friends, lifters don't test other lifters to eliminate conflicts of interest and things like that. Oh, friends don't test their friends, and then in small letters it says or their enemies,
Mhm.
implying that
Mm.
there would be tampering to create a false positive, which I don't correct me. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think there's ever been a situation in USA powerlifting where there was a positive that could not be defended, uh, or meaning it's there's never been any evidence or proof that there was ever tampering in that capacity. So I think that's a pretty invalid point, but
Right.
whatever. It sounds good on a Instagram post. Um, and then July 14th, USAPL put out another post basically with a bunch of quotes from different Olympians, Michael Phelps, Katie Ledecky, people like that, just talking about how WADA has failed the athletes essentially. So
Yep.
um, I don't think, and a lot of people are posting around on social media, oh, look at the pissing contest
But
between the two, et cetera. And I didn't take it that way. Maybe it is, but I think USA Powerlifting is trying to tell their story. Like, why is it important that we test the way we do? Because, I think the common narrative again is WADA is the best. So, if you're not
right,
WADA compliant, why would that be better? Well, because we're actually testing at every level and we are catching people. Like, I still think like it's hard to argue less testing is better drug testing. Like a lot more of pretty darn good is a lot better than very little of the best practice, right?
right, right.
So
Yeah, I mean, and just for anyone who's listening, that's like, what's USADA? What's WADA? So, um, WADA is the World Anti-Doping Association. Am I getting that?
agency,
Agency
World
is the
Anti-Doping
agency,
Agency.
right? And USADA, USADA is the local branch.
Right.
So they do the test. The testing is very expensive, and that's why, you know, you can't test at with a WADA full screen test at every single level, right? You just can't. So to be non-WADA compliant just means that USA powerlifting officials were doing the testing, and it wasn't a full WADA screen, but it was testing for steroids along the way. And testing, I think, at the local level and state level, and having just like a certain percent of all your lifters be tested. Just I don't know how that's a bad thing.
And in the scrutiny, it part of the scrutiny is like it's not a thorough enough test, but the number of people that fail that test is a lot. Like there's a lot of people failing at the local level on those tests. So it's like, if you fail on that, you're absolutely going to fail on a full water panel. So like, why is that bad? I guess
Right.
maybe they were taking other things that didn't get detected also, but they still failed on,
Yep.
basically steroids or hormones. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think, I don't know. I think both are trying to spin the narrative of their own,
Mm,
what they believe. But, again, obviously I'm a little biased here. I firmly like being like involved, you know, before, I guess during the split, like I know what the motivations are of the IPF and USA Powerlifting, and I can't be on board with the mentality of the IPF with their drug testing because I heard it straight from the mouths of the IPF EC, like why we couldn't continue to do our drug testing, and it was about control and money, and it was not about catching uh,
mm.
cheaters and keeping a clean platform. So like I just have no respect for uh for that. So anyway, I'll, I'll get off my
Soapbox.
soapbox there.
Get off your soapbox. All right, so we'll just move right along. So the round one invites were sent out for the IDFPA World Championships in Seoul, South Korea.
So basically, yeah, everybody that placed top three at their affiliate nationals, so that's USAPL nationals, Korea nationals, there's a few others, uh, they got an automatic invite if you place top three in your weight class. So I'd be interested to see what that roster looks like because I think there's going to be a lot of people compete at that, and this is the first IDFPA, Open and Masters Worlds. So be kind of cool to be the first world champion of that.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
So, and nice to be able to, have if you were to get an invite to go someplace that's meaningful like Seoul, South Korea, because I've heard it's Epic City. I've only seen the airport. Um,
You've been to the airport?
I've been to the airport. It's a nice airport. It's
I've
very
never
nice.
been.
Yeah, I spent a 13-hour layover there.
Oh, wow.
So, um, and they have little hotel rooms right there in the airport
That's
and,
awesome.
and sleeping pods because apparently it happens a lot. But it's a nice airport. So, and you can actually check your get a locker, put your bags in there, and you can take a bus that I think it was free to go out and explore and then come back to the airport. But we was too tired for that.
We was too tired. When were you there? Was that one of the world's trips?
Yeah, that was the way back. Well, actually, both ways to Mongolia and back. That was the first
Yeah.
stop in the lake was from to Seoul, South Carolina. It was a nice airport. It was bougie,
Bougie.
bougie.
You're all
So,
about that bougie life.
oh yeah, I'm so bougie. Uh, so we're gonna move on to the powerlifting situation. Bum. Here it is. You're in the warm-up room at Nationals and realize you forgot your wrist wraps. Oh, that's awful. That's a bad feeling. What's your move? What do you do?
Buy another pair from a vendor or borrow a pair. Like this isn't rocket science. I mean,
Yeah, it's not knee sleeves at least, because like knee sleeves, you've broken them in and all that. Where wrist wraps are just not that
and you can
special.
likely go without and be just fine. Maybe it bothers you a little bit in bench, but like I don't
Mm.
I think
It bothered me a lot in bench. I would not be able to deal, but that would be me. I'm just a big wimp when it comes to my wrist and benching. It hurts.
but I
So,
mean that this is like one of the most universally like borrowing somebody's wrist straps. It's not like it's a squat shoe where it's got to be the exact right size, the right heel height. A belt, is broken, fits you just right. Like wrist straps are wrist straps. Like I think you can pretty much get a pair from somebody else. Most people bring multiple pairs, so if you just borrow one, like I don't know. I think this one, and I don't know, this one just irritates me. Like that it's. I mean, obviously we put it up, but
like you wrote
like
it. Come on.
I know, but I guess reading some of the responses so far, it's like this is not that big of a deal. Like some people are just like, "Oh my gosh, I would blah 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 blah." I'm just like, wrist wraps, man. Just like get another pair. Like shut up.
Yeah, well, and sometimes it's good to train in a way that throws you off a little bit, right? So that if you have something that goes wrong, you can still adjust to it, the day
Yeah.
of. But also, make a packing list. Like after my first meet, I was like, all right, I'm just making a list of the stuff that I'm going to pack every time. And then, as you mature through meets, you're like, oh, I really like this to be in my bag. Like chocolate covered espresso beans were like a must for right before deadlifts, like for me. And that just got added to my list. And because I would get, especially as an equip lifter, you get so much shit. You just need all that stuff, and you've got like warm-up set of knee wraps. Oh, this set of knee wraps already broken in. Three new knee wraps. You get all this stuff. Like it's so easy to forget it. Pack it, check it off, unpack your bag, and then check it off again. Make sure you have everything. But that's just me. Oh, and look, the new lifter tip.
That's why I didn't say anything because I knew you were gonna
You
go right
knew
into
I
that.
hadn't like actually scrolled down. So, yep, new lifter tip. Make a checklist. Boom. See? Don't forget key gear like a belt, singlet, or ID. Oh, ID, that's a good one actually,
Yeah.
because that's true. Make a meet day checklist a week ahead of time. Oh, I'd say actually before that or right after your first meet or before. I don't know. Anyway, singlet,
Or
socks,
just
membership
check it
card.
check it every night before bed at 365 days a year.
Yes, yes, and get obsessive and don't sleep because of it. I've done that. Um, yeah, and just make sure you have everything in backup gear and all that stuff. And the other new lifter tip is learn how to time your warm-ups.
Yep. I think that's one of the biggest things that screw people up is, one, you're sharing a rack with other people, so you don't get to go exactly like the thing. I'm going to go on a little side rant here. Like the thing that really ticks me off, like most people want to take their last warm up, like, you know, 5 to 10 minutes out, right? Well, guess what? All six people on the warm up rack can't take their last warm up at 8:55 a.m. So like you kind of got to communicate, figure out the order, and keep it moving. So Yeah, the big factor in that though is knowing how long it takes you to do all your warm-ups. So you need to know obviously what they are, but like how long does it take you? Like when you have if you have eight warm-ups, you know, do you take 45 seconds to put your belt on, everything once we say it's your turn? Like when there's multiple people, you got to be doing that quicker. Does it take you, 10 minutes to put your knee sleeves on after your first two warm-ups? So there's going to be a 10-minute gap where you can't do anything that needs to be accounted for. Just stuff like that. I mean, I think people just take this too casually sometimes without really planning what it entails. So yeah,
Mm. Yeah,
yeah.
agree. The thing about squat warm-ups too, like that's when as a lifter, I this is the part of the meet I hated the most. Really. Like getting in and like, okay, now it's time and warming up. And at that point, like my anxiety would just ratchet up. I'm like, am I going to get all my warm-ups in? How is this going to feel? Like this is the worst part of the meet for me. So
And now
just,
all of a sudden, oh crap, you got to go to the bathroom. What
yeah,
about, so always plan that in too, because,
yeah,
almost everybody's going to want to go to the bathroom right before their first squat or right before their last warm up,
right,
one of the two. So like have
right,
have time built in for that, because if you just wait too long, it just becomes chaos and
yeah.
you're all freaked out more than you already are.
Yeah, right. So it's just a bit of a anxiety producing time. Like you're excited, you're nervous, and it's all kind of coming to that first lift, right? Ugh. Like I get a little like nauseous just even talking about this.
Yeah.
I feel the anxiety. I'm like, ugh. Yeah. So and I think that's when it's really nice to have a coach too that's like watching for that and just like not you're just sitting down, chilling, and a coach is just pointing at you going, okay, let's go. And, all you do is flip your belt, go
Yep.
and be done and sit back down. So
Agreed.
there you go. Yep.
There we go.
I don't really have much of anything for random BS, but I would say one thing that I have a pet peeve when it comes to
I like pet peeves.
yeah, here's my pet peeve. Uh oh, bees are scary and they're stingy. They sting you. Um, right? Like people are like, "Oh, I hate bees," or they see like something flying and they're like, "Oh, it's a bee, it's gonna get me," or "Man, I hate when I was out hiking and I got stung by bees," or "I was gardening and I got stung by a bee," and blah blah blah. Um, Most likely it wasn't a bee. Most likely it was a yellow jacket, which is a type of wasp. Honeybees sting if you step on them or if you grab them. Um, they generally don't sting. Sure, if you're a beekeeper and you're getting in their house, they're going to probably get a little mad. They might sting a beekeeper, but for the most part, honeybees don't sting for no reason. Yellow jackets will chase
Honeybees don't play
you
that
down.
shit.
Yeah, honeybees are like mild. They're like whatever. They're like the hippies of the insect world. They're like whatever, just let me get my nectar and I'm just going to go back and I'm going to see the queen and I'm going to do stuff. Where Yellow jackets are a type of wasp, and they're little motherfuckers. They will chase you down and rock your world. Hate them. And most likely, if you got stung by something, it was a yellow jacket or a different type of wasp. They're evil. Now, should we kill them? No, because they still are pollinators and they are still important to the ecosystem. But just don't give bees a bad rap because they're not the things that are stinging you.
I'm actively trying to kill some yellow jackets in our front yard right now.
I hate
They're
them.
they're they're in the ground, like
Ah,
right in the middle of our front yard.
do you know where their house is?
Underground, I think. I mean,
Oh,
there's a
but you don't
we
know
have a we
like
have
the
a
whole.
yeah, we have a hole in the ground and they're coming out of that.
Hmm. Yeah, and I'm pretty anti-insecticide because it kills things that you don't really want to
Yeah.
kill.
So
But
hope bought some dichotomous earth or something like that.
yeah,
It's supposed to like dry them out or something like
Polymus
that. But
Earth.
is that what it's called?
No, oh
What's it
God.
called?
But that's the moment I'm like, I know that's not the word, but
Yeah, whatever. The long
dimetaceous. Oh fuck.
I don't know.
Yeah, I use it because it's something that you got to get the plant grade. I'm sorry, not the plant grade, the animal grade. So if they ingest it a little bit, it's not bad for
So
your chickens. But
it's the
diatomaceous earth.
Yeah, what did I call it?
That's what I don't remember, but
I called it dichotomous.
yeah, dichotomous, diatomaceous earth. And it's diatomaceous earth is actually really good for sprinkling underneath your beehive because there's these little stupid things called like who knew that bees get mites and pests and like there's things that happen and they have pests and it can really hurt the hive. There's these little wax moths and small hive beetles. And if you spread out diatomaceous earth underneath your beehive, the small beetles, what are they called? Small hive beetles is what they're called. Um, are in your beehive. Then they leave the beehive and they lay eggs, and then the eggs that they come up and get inside. And they won't kill a hive, but they'll knock down the immunity of it. So diatomaceous earth has lots of great uses for chickens even. So
So it does kill yellow jackets though eventually, right? Is
it
what I've heard.
it there's a lot of insects that really, really don't like it, especially if you
Because if
douse
not, I'm
it.
kind of wasting my time.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it will kill them, but it will probably piss them off. Um,
Great.
do you know what really works well though? And this is gonna sound awful. Boiling water.
Oh, I could do that. I could boil some water and just pour down in there.
Yeah, I mean it's just water, but it'll it'll kill some shit. That's what I got for you.
Somebody said to pour some gasoline down there, but I'm like, that's probably not super environmentally
Yeah.
friendly.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, pour some gasoline on there and then light it.
Yeah. Kaboom.
Could you do that, please? And please, if you do that, set up your
Video
iPhone.
it. Yeah, video
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I don't have, I'm an Android person. You know that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry. Set up your Android on a tripod. Oh, here's what you do though. You take the gasoline, you pour it down there, then you go set up your tripod, and then you record it as you light that match so that the fumes will have a nice long time to seep out. And then when it
Right.
goes boom, it's
So it
really
makes a bit, so it makes a bigger boom.
makes a bigger boom and probably will burn the shit out of you too, which would be kind of a little funny.
Yeah, it'd be hilarious. Good plan. All right, so all you kids listening at home, this is not sound advice. Do not do this.
Don't actually.
We are not professionals.
No. My we had a wood stove when I was a kid in our basement. That's how we heated our house. And there was a point, my dad's really smart, so I don't even know what he was thinking, but he could not get that thing lit and he was like "Ugh," really pissed off. So he took some kerosene and he poured it in the wood stove and then struck some matches to get it lit, but they weren't lighting. So he went and got a different book of matches came back, but by then the fumes had seeped and he lit it and the whole house went boom and shook. And we were like, my mother and I
Jeez.
were watching TV and I remember this and being like, what the heck was that? And apparently there was flames that shot out of our chimney. And we went downstairs and my dad was standing there like Wile E. Coyote. You know, when Wile E. Coyote like blew stuff up and he was part of what got blown up.
Yep.
You know, he's sitting there blinking and just like singe and like smoke is coming off of him and his clothes are in rags. Um, that was my
Mm,
dad.
that's rough.
Yeah, which, you know, in hindsight is a little bit funny, but at the same time it wasn't because he got some second degree burns and
Yeah.
we had to take him to the hospital. Um, so maybe he was drinking that night. I don't know. Because I mean he's like a smart guy. I don't know what happened, what he was thinking.
I don't know, but when you get pissed off sometimes, like you don't think clear. So
Yeah, and smart
like
people do stupid
just gonna
things.
throw a bunch of kerosene on this thing and light it up.
Damn it. Yeah. So definitely don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, with
Agreed.
that,
Probably.
that's all I got.
All right. Sounds good. That's all I got too.
Awesome.
Oh,
Well, at least we have a good time, Josh.
oh yeah. All right.
Nice.
Good deal. Well, thank you all for listening. We'll catch you all next week. Hey, I haven't said it in a while, but don't forget to follow us on Instagram at PL Ballads Podcast. That's all. Okay,
Yes,
bye.
do that. Okay, bye.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode of the Powerlifting and Power Ballads podcast, please remember to subscribe and share it with your friends.